Hello, I'm Jordan. I was a client at Epilepsy Toronto. In about 2014, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and I was experiencing absent seizures. I was a professor at the time, and I would stop lecturing. My students would be wondering what's going on. And this happened a few times in a few different situations until I started to ask questions to my doctor. 2016, I had brain surgery, and they removed my right hippocampus and partial temporal lobe. That was successful surgery, and I have not had a seizure since. It was at first a dark voyage, unknown, with many questions for myself and my family. I didn't know anyone who had any similar condition. The hospital put us in touch with Epilepsy Toronto, and from there the whole path immediately became a lot easier, and it became quite a comfortable journey actually from that point forward. I can never speak enough praise of the support that I received both from the staff and from the other people who are experiencing seizures, who are going to Epilepsy Toronto, because you need support. Need to connect with people who've gone through this and can answer questions for you in a comfortable environment. Epilepsy, it's a common condition, more common than I ever realized.
My name is Joanna. My partner Heather was diagnosed with epilepsy sort of at the end of February / early March. And needless to say, it's been a very turbulent time in both of our lives. I started kind of my own journey feeling really overwhelmed and confused and kind of isolated because I didn't know anyone going through the same sort of journey as me. But I found that Epilepsy South Central Ontario has been enormously helpful in kind of coming to terms with what's happening and making my relationship with Heather a lot more communicative and a lot more positive and supportive moving forward. And through being part of that community, I've learned a lot about epilepsy, both in terms of how to support Heather as she goes in through her own journey, but also how to support myself and care for myself in a way that allows me to best care for others.
Hi, my name is Herjos. I am 21 years old, and I was diagnosed with epilepsy around the age of 13. My parents kind of told me one thing, and that was, okay, we're going to get through this, but just don't tell anyone about it. Just keep it within the family. I need people to talk to. And I had my family. They were a great support system, but at the end of the day, they didn't understand how it felt to be someone with epilepsy, someone to be diagnosed with epilepsy. I didn't ever feel like I was forced to attend these workshops by Epilepsy South Central Crow. It was kind of just like, here's this community, here's the support group, and they're here for you. My family didn't really understand. They just kept saying, okay, take your medication, take your medication. But at some point, I'm like, I just wanted someone to talk to that could understand. And that's where these support groups, that's where all these opportunities from Epilepsy South Central Co came into play. And that's where it was them that I think actually brought my passion for wanting to work in the healthcare, because I saw how much work they were giving and how much support they were giving to people within who are, going through epilepsy. It was because of them that I actually got an opportunity to participate in the Uplift program. So I'm really excited, and this is going to be like the first time ever I get to work with a group of individuals with epilepsy and kind of help them as well as like myself. So I'm really thankful and grateful for all the work that Epilepsy South Central Co has done for me, for giving me that platform to be able to be like, hey, Herjos, like, you can talk about what's going on with you. Epilepsy is not all there is to you. Like, you are more than your diagnosis. And that's what ESCO has really taught me. And I'm forever grateful for them.
Hi there. Yes, my name is Henry, and I have epilepsy. client with Epilepsy Toronto. My epilepsy started when I was 16 years old. My mother noticed that I started to fall on one side and I started to basically jerk. My mother immediately called 911. It took really 6 months to about, I would say, a year or a year and a half to be diagnosed with epilepsy. I had tonic-clonic, focal aware, absent, atonic seizures. I did have actually depression, right? So I did seek out Epilepsy Toronto and for counseling. They have many things there that they can get benefits from. I think I've come to a level of acceptance and adapted to of what I have. Never lose hope. There's always time for anything. You can really achieve whatever you put your mind to.
Hi, my name is Sonika and I have epilepsy. I'm a client at Epilepsy Toronto. I was diagnosed with epilepsy in 2011. The type of epilepsy I have is temporal lobe epilepsy, and in June 2020, I actually had a surgery on my left temporal lobe. I was 21 years old when I was diagnosed with epilepsy, but I'm pretty sure I had it since I was 18. When I was told that I needed to have surgery for my epilepsy, I was quite scared, and that's when I met Epilepsy Toronto. Epilepsy Toronto has a surgery support group, and if it wasn't for the surgery support group, I wouldn't be supported by other individuals who had epilepsy surgery. If somebody's been recently diagnosed with epilepsy, I'd highly recommend that they go to Epilepsy Toronto. Epilepsy Toronto has so many resources. Either you meet up with people one-on-one, you watch things online, or you come to support groups where you can see other people who also have epilepsy. There's actually many different types of epilepsy. On TV, we only see people who have generalized seizures where their whole body is shaking. That's only one type of epilepsy. There's so many types of epilepsy that are hidden that you can't see people having seizures. So if there was one thing for me to tell the generalized population, I would tell them there's many different types of seizures.
Hi, my name is Sadie and I have epilepsy. I am a client at Epilepsy Southwestern Ontario. All of a sudden something came over me. Words wouldn't come out of my mouth. My brother looked at me like, what's going on? I was over it within a few moments. I wasn't told directly what was going on with me, so they said that I had a lot of anxiety and stress. My family doctor sent me to another specialist, and that's when he said to me that you have epilepsy. I wanted to find out more, so I contacted Southwestern Ontario Epilepsy Group. I sent them an email and they responded right away, and they gave me information. The first thing that I took from them was an 8-week course. I learned a lot, how to relax. I learned about, all the different types of epilepsy. There's not just one type, there's many. And my mother had seizures as well, but she didn't have the people to speak to. She was very isolated, and it was something that I didn't want to do myself. There is help out there. Epilepsy Southwestern Ontario is a group that has really helped me. It's been a journey, and I'm grateful for the help that I received.
Hi, my name is Sadie and I have epilepsy. I am a client at Epilepsy Southeastern Ontario. For me and my family, everything changed. We had to adapt to a new normal in our lives, and that included dealing with triggers and daily medications. new doctors, and we didn't really understand what was going on. We reached out to Epilepsy Southeastern Ontario, and they provided valuable resources for me and my family to help support me and my friends and school. Through then, I've been volunteering with them, and I've been helping others in my community, and epilepsy has made me stronger than I've ever been before. There are a lot of people with epilepsy that you may not even realize, but we're able to lead normal lives. We are able to support each other, and we are some of the strongest people around.
Hi, my name is Mike, and I have epilepsy. I'm a client at Epilepsy Ottawa. I was diagnosed when I was 23 years old. I have tonic, clonic, and absent seizures. I've been dealing with it since I was a little child. I thought that they were basically blackouts. They've gotten worse and worse in the last 4 years. Just before Christmas, I was in a 5-day coma. Like sometimes I can't remember stuff. It's like every time I have a seizure or something, it's like a great big reset of the mind. Epilepsy Ottawa taught me that I wasn't alone. It was just a really, really good experience. There's always hope as long as you get up and look for it. We're all the same. We're no different than anybody else. We walk, we talk, and just because we might stutter or forget things sometimes, we're no different than anybody else.
My name is Rochelle, and I do have epilepsy.
And my name is Barb, and my wife, Rochelle, has epilepsy.
I'm a client of Epilepsy Toronto.
I was part of the epilepsy spousal support group at Epilepsy Toronto.
June of 2010, I had my first seizure when I was working. I didn't realize what had happened. Epilepsy Toronto that helped me get through the initial scared process that I had. It's very frightening to all of a sudden have a seizure and you don't know why. Epilepsy Toronto helped me greatly.
I think maybe someone at Epilepsy Toronto, I think it was Epilepsy Toronto, that recommended that when she was having a seizure, to videotape her having a seizure so she could see what happens when she's having a seizure. And I don't think it was until you really saw yourself and saw what I saw that you truly understood what was going on.
The depth of the seizure.
Depth of the seizure, and that, that she would not know her name, she would be totally frozen. I simply do not know how we would have navigated those first couple of years had we not had Epilepsy Toronto.
Epilepsy Toronto had a wonderful worker who actually came to my employer, asked if they could come and do a session with all my coworkers and my boss to explain to them what epilepsy is, how to treat, how to deal with my seizures, and to keep me safe.
Being part of the Epilepsy Toronto community, you're not alone. You're a part of that community and you're a part of that family.
My name's Kastia and I have epilepsy. I'm a client at Epilepsy Derm Region. I was diagnosed in 2003 is when I had my first seizure. I got referred to a new doctor, an epileptologist, and the type of seizures that I actually have, I'm not to come off medication for. It was a good 10 years between seizures. It was scary. I just didn't know what was happening. And back in 2003, when I had my first seizure, epilepsy wasn't talked about at all. So I didn't know what seizures were. I didn't know what epilepsy was. It's not contagious. Don't treat me differently. So Epilepsy Derm Region supported me by supporting not just myself, but as well as my family. Epilepsy Derm Region provided supports for myself, getting me to see an epileptologist, but it's all fundraising. It's not, there's no funding coming in other than fundraising, which is tough for them because they don't get the resources they need or they want. They have set in their mind what they want, but they're not getting the resources or the funding to get what they need. I would tell someone that's been diagnosed with epilepsy to reach out to the local agencies because they provide a lot of support and can do amazing things.
My name is Dania and I have epilepsy. I'm a client at Epilepsy York Region. I was diagnosed when I was 16. I just fell off the bike, hit my head, went to the nearest hospital. I wouldn't say there was too much of a physical damage, but a day after the accident, I got my first seizure. I was in denial for quite some time. It was more of a hush-hush. People were not talking about it. And I felt that, why did this happen? There's XYZ things that I need to do. But I think over time, I stopped wallowing in self-pity and moved out, and I'm like, this is what it is, and this is how I need to live my life. I have reached a point now where I feel that I can do much more, spread awareness. When I did come across Epilepsy York Region, thought I'll just do an initial, a meet and greet. So there were different people who had all come together, and the single theme was they just needed someone to talk to. We have pretty cool events that are going on, which are organized by Epilepsy York Region. I had a seizure in the gym of my son's school. You had a lot of people come in and you had the paramedics come in. I was disoriented, so I couldn't really speak and say that, hey guys, I'm fine, I don't need to go to the hospital. So with awareness, I feel that there's a lot of 911 calls and rushing to the ERs, which can be avoided. I am actually on a mission right now to spread awareness on epilepsy so that kids know what it is, an adult knows what it is, and what they can do to help.
My name is Mike, and I have epilepsy. I'm a client at Epilepsy Toronto. When I was 17 years old, I had a tonic-clonic seizure. This is quite tough on me. I was in high school. Nobody really knew what to do. Nobody had really seen a seizure before, and I was scared myself. But it was just one seizure until 6 weeks later when I had the second tonic-clonic seizure. From there, I've had tonic-clonic clusters every 4 or 5 years. Up until around 2018, 2019, then they became focal aware seizures. Epilepsy Toronto gave me a lot of different opportunities, which I am endlessly thankful for. I absolutely recommend that they go to Epilepsy Toronto, people who you can talk to about these things in a manner that is most comforting for you. I was lucky enough to work with Epilepsy Toronto directly. I did a lot of their media work, a lot of their videos. I hope to continue doing good things within the epilepsy community going forward. The condition doesn't define who we are, we define who we are. So anyone with epilepsy can live a completely normal, happy, loving life.
Hi, my name is Medica, and my son Aiden has epilepsy. Aiden is both a client and ambassador for Epilepsy Durham Region. So Aiden was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was 4 years old. He's had, at the beginning, about 100 seizures a day, and it took a while for the doctors to be able to diagnose exactly what type of epilepsy he had, which was all three major ones around tonic-clonic, myoclonic, as well as absence seizures. He's been on 9 different medications, but he still has nightly seizures. So he has about 6 to 8 seizures every night. And because of that, he's at risk for SUDEP. It's been a long journey. It's been a very long and tough journey. He's a really strong kid. He was diagnosed with epilepsy. No one I knew had epilepsy. So he's done a bunch of work with Epilepsy Durham Region, getting the word out. When Aiden has the status epilepticus, which is the seizures beyond 5 minutes, it's always that fear it's not going to stop. So we call an ambulance, they come, and his seizures stop. But they still take him to the hospital, and it agitated him even further being in a hospital with these strangers poking at him all the time. So that to me was unnecessary visit. So we've actually, if it stops while they're there, we just ask them to leave. It's not worth taking him to the hospital and wasting the resources at the hospital. I'd say epilepsy is a forgotten disorder. We need supports. It needs to be taken seriously.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and I have epilepsy. I am a client with Epilepsy Toronto and Epilepsy Peterborough. I was diagnosed when I was 7 years old. It was every different kind of seizure: tonic-clonic, absence, focal aware, and nocturnal. And my biggest trigger was stress, good or bad. I was having over 100 absent seizures a day. We were investigating the strange seizure I had. I happened to be in the EMU, and I had one. Immediately, when I came out of it, the nurses put me right back on my full medication and told me it would be explained to me Monday morning when my neurologist came back. When he came in, he said that it had actually stopped my heart. But my heart started to beat before they had to give me a shock. Nobody else has lived through this seizure. All the neurologists he talked to said this is a SUDEP causing seizure, and I am the only one they've ever heard about that has lived through it. My heart was strong enough to restart itself once a month for 8 years. Epilepsy Toronto helped me in the beginning. When I first got epilepsy, I lived in a town that didn't have epilepsy resources. They gave me great information and assistance. And then as soon as I moved to the city of Peterborough, I started dealing with Epilepsy Peterborough and would go to the meetings and get information. So my husband and I actually started co-hosting the actual monthly meetings. With Epilepsy Toronto, I have become one of their peer support persons. So we've given back as much as we can, and we really appreciate what both services have done for us. I have had many unnecessary visits to the ER because of a seizure. I have a headache the whole time. I can't do anything about it. I prefer that unless I bang my head or I'm bleeding, that I do not go to the hospital. But what you have to understand is we can't control it. And if you can help us and make sure we're not banging our heads or hurting ourselves, then we can keep going in the world, and we really would appreciate that.